so 23rd of November and it's the end of the month. What time is it? It's team standard tracking time. Yay! So as you all might have known, AI have evolved team standards in the last month based on team stage. And what does it mean is that team leader now should really focus on delivering the activities that based on the team is at. So for example, now it's November and most of us is focusing on driving operations. And what a team leader should really focusing on should be delivering regular team meetings to have this space to track whether the team is on the right track to achieve the team plan, and having regular one-to-ones with each members to have performance coaching to help them and guide them to achieve a higher performance in their personal JD, and a team day to make sure everyone bond and keep on motivated to have a high achieving team together. And the new team standard tracker is also based on tracking each team stage. So we will only evaluate the activities that our team is currently at, and we are not evaluating any activities that is not like in the team stage that we are at. So for example, when we are at performing now, we don't necessarily have to evaluate building anymore or closing because we're not delivering those and we're not focusing those. So evaluating those activities is not relevant. But then before I go on to the tracker and tell you how can you practically feel that I would like to first explain a bit of the rationale behind why we have to track team standards and why is it so important for us to make sure that we have the right mindsets when we are tracking team standards. First is really having the awareness for the team leader of how well that they are delivering team standards. This tracking team standard is not the responsibility just for the team leader. It's actually responsibility between the team leader, team members, and everyone really who are receiving team standards, because the team leader sometimes they deliver a team standard but not necessarily received by the team member perceived in the same rate or the same way. So it's really important to get the team members to be involved in the tracking process, for them to ask them, do you think this has been delivered to you? Do you understand what is our team goal is? Do you understand what is the progress that our team is achieving? And it's only by asking the team members these questions we can really understand how well team standard has been delivering. And I think it's really important that we provide this transparent space and honest space for the team member to give feedback to the team leader of how can they improve the way that they deliver team standards to them. For example, for the regular team meetings, if a members don't feel like they're being clearly tracked in terms of the progress of the team goal, then how can the team leader reflect on what is the way, like, how can I deliver my team meetings differently? What is the different facilitation styles? Or should I improve my team standard tracker or team tracker, functional tracker, to make sure that the members understand how they're being tracked and how can us as a team achieve the team goal. And also act appointed. And finally is accountability, because currently in ISET UK, we don't necessarily have a very clear systems in terms of measuring membership and understanding how many members is actually in the entity. I think Team Standard Tracker is really a good place for us to really understand how many membership do we have in each entity, and also how many members is in each function. And so that's why is a very good space for us to not only understand what is the reality of our membership, but also understand how well us as an entity is delivering team standard. And by having this platform, we can hold each other accountable to make sure that we are understanding what's the reality, but at the same time, when you see other entities are doing so great, you can go and approach to ask them what they have been doing right, and ask for GCP in terms of practical side, like how can they actually deliver, for example, a regular team meetings. So how should I find the Team Standard Tracker? So the new Team Standard Tracker, as I said, is now updated based on the team stage, and is color-coded for each stage of time, and is also like, so as you can see, building is in red, performing is in blue, yellow, and closing is in blue. So as I said, like we will only evaluate the activities that our team is at. So for example, now it's November and my team is at performing. So what I will do is I will hide the building and only focusing on evaluating performing. And what I will do as a team leader is that, so we have to fill in how many members is in the team. So for example, I have 5 members, and then I'll ask them, so in a regular functional meeting, do you feel that you are tracked by the goal or the plan achievement regarding to the team KPIs and MOS? So if our team members don't feel like they are being tracked properly or clearly, then they should be a no. If it's not 100% yes, if it's not clear to them, then it's a no. And it's really important that the team leader set the expectation clearly to the team members that this is a safe space and an honest space for everyone to really evaluate together, because this is a space not only for Cherry to track how well you're doing. Percentage really doesn't matter for me, but it's more like the process itself, how the team leader could understand how can they do things differently. Maybe the team members doesn't necessarily feel that I'm receiving the right experience, then how can the team member help the team leader to reflect on the experience and maybe bring some solutions together by understanding what's the perspective from the team member. So it's really important that each team member have an honest and safe space for them to voice out what do they think regarding to team standard implementation. So if one member say no, then we put 4 here, and similarly we ask the same questions whether we review tasks that we delegate last week, and we set new priorities for the next week. And if currently the team meetings is not hosted in a way and they are not clear in terms of priorities or the tasks that they should do, then maybe 2 of them say no, then we put 3 and carrying on most of them. And when it comes so we are here just reviewing performing. So really this is how it should be done. And here I also put a little timeline here which is an AIESEC UK reality generic timeline regarding to our current timeline. And sorry, we're missing a building here, but what we this is how, like for example, if most of us has recruit members in October, and we're focusing on building our team in October, and from now on, since then we are start to perform as a team, and towards like March, then we'll start to approaching closing to make sure that we establish a transition system for our next successors. But for some of us, we might recruit new members, so we also have to induct them and recruit, make sure that they feel that they are part of the team. So we have to introduce them to our new team, and we also, for these new team members, we have to also evaluate building, whether they feel that they are actually feeling being inducted to the team, and then we swiftly move on performing and closing. So just to reinforce it once again, we only have to fill in the part that like our team is at. And as you can see, I've color coded it based on the AIESEC UK timeline. So for example, for October, we should be really focusing on planning, and then November will be performing, December will be performing, and in January it will be building, but also performing, because if you run recruitment, then it will be building because you have to induct the new members, and but then we also performing for the old members. And then in March, then we'll be focusing on closing. But really, I just want to reinforce that this is an AIESEC UK generic timeline, and you really should be critically evaluating where your team is at and fill in the column that your team is at. So for example, if currency is November and my team is at building, then I'll just focusing on I had just focusing on delivering building in the last month. So I just filled in the column here instead of everything else, instead of going to performing, because that wasn't my focus in this month. And This is how we should really be evaluating team standards in the most relevant way. And I hope it is clear to you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to come to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So thank you for listening, and hope you have amazing team standard implementation time. Yay!